love. Because real cheese people bite with a bend. Hold the sacrifice. No compromise.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for breaking into regular scheduled programming here. If you were watching about 30 or 40 minutes ago, we were following breaking news out of Apple Valley that actually came into our valley. It was a slow to moderate speed chase of a big rig. A man had stolen a big rig in Apple Valley around 10:30 this morning and had led police on a chase through the Southland from Riverside, Apple Valley, through Moreno Valley, into Banning and Beaumont. And now what you're looking at is live video from our courtesy of our station friend out in LA, KTLA. This is the man in the big rig pulling over in Whitewater, out at the Whitewater rest stop. It looks like he's going to surrender. Yep, he's coming out of the vehicle right now as we speak. Got his hands up. Looks to be like looks like a white male, jeans and a white t-shirt, boots. He's walking back with his hands up towards CHP officers now. Again, this is live video coming in right now to the KMIR newsroom. He's getting orders from police to turn around, keep his hands in the air. You can tell just how windy it is out there. Look at that. Getting down on his knees here. Now, we will stay with this until this man is apprehended, and then I'm going to recap and tell you what happened. Now, that signal just froze, and we lost it. Okay, that's okay. We've got one on the ground here. Our chief photographer, Eddie Luna, he is on the ground right here. Okay, now we're back on the live shot above from KTLA's helicopter. Let me recap as we watch CHP apprehend this man and tell you what happened if you're just joining us as they take this man into custody. And again, folks, we're going to lose this signal because of the high winds out there. It is very difficult for these helicopters to maintain their speed, their elevation, and also that signal because they have to bounce the signal on mountains and back and forth from LA to here, and it's just hard to do. Do we have that ground shot? From our chief photographer, Eddie. There's Eddie. Okay, you can tell a small army of news vehicles were literally following behind CHP during the chase for the last, oh gosh, now 3 hours. This has been going on. Now we lost that signal. Back on that one. Again, folks, we're going to bounce back and forth with the winds. Bear with us. You can see right there a CHP officer cuffing him as another CHP officer with his canine unit is standing by. It does look like, I believe it looks like a white male was driving that truck. Now let me back up. If you just tuned in, and we apologize for breaking into, I think it was Days of Our Lives for the second time. But here's what we know. 10:30, this man stole this semi from a commercial area in an unincorporated area of Apple Valley. He then took police on a wild chase, never really breaking any laws. We watched this for the last 2-3 hours here in the newsroom. He stayed in the lanes. He even stopped at stoplights at some point. But he led them on a moderate to slow speed chase from the 210, the 15, the 60, onto the 10. And then right when we were doing our live coverage about 40 minutes ago, we thought he was going to come into the valley. He turned on the Highway 62. He went up into Morongo Valley, into Yucca Valley, and right as he got into the heart of Yucca Valley, and he must have experience as a big rig driver, maybe even as his CDL, he did a U-turn right in the middle of Yucca Valley, not jackknifing the big rig, not hitting or breaking anything, hitting other vehicles, spun the truck around, came back down the 62. Again, CHP followed close behind but gave him a wide berth. You're talking about a big rig here, folks, 80,000 pounds here, several ton, right? Also, they wouldn't spike strip him because they got word from the owner of the trucking company that there was hazardous materials on board. Now, we were told they were non-explosive, but they were hazardous. So they did not want to spike strip him, not only for fear of what was on board, but also you're talking about the possibility of a big rig flipping over and hitting other vehicles on the freeway, and that you just can't have. Plus, you can't do a pit maneuver, which we're used to seeing CHP due to normal vehicles, where they come up behind on the side, they bump someone's rear bumper and push them around to spin out. Obviously, you can't do that to a semi-truck. So they followed him for now 3 hours and 10 minutes. Again, this chase started at 10:30 this morning, and now comes to an end in our backyard, folks, as the helicopter zooms out. Looks like it might be leaving. I think he is. He's probably going to head back out towards LA. If he does that, maybe we can take our ground shot. Our chief photographer, Eddie Luna, is on the scene. They're actually moving up closer to show that. If we've got some of the video, maybe we can roll that from earlier, guys, and show them some of this chase. But again, if you're just joining us, this, I don't want to call it a high-speed chase, because I don't think at any point was this big rig ever going high speeds. But this big rig chase is now over, coming to an end. right here, as I said, in our backyard. You were just looking at live feed coming in a moment ago from the Whitewater Rest Area. That was on the westbound lanes. So if you just pop the TV back on and you said, wait a minute, Dan, I heard you an hour ago saying that we were going to discontinue our coverage because he was headed up into the high desert. It was getting out of our coverage area. Our helicopters weren't getting signal, and we thought he would head well up into the high desert, Joshua 29 Palms, who knows where. Well, he didn't. He changed his mind. He did a U-turn in Yucca Valley, and he came back down the 62. We thought he might try a different route and come on the 10 east into our desert. And that was our main concern for you, our viewers out there, if you would be traveling on the I-10 and this big rig stolen with what it seems to be probably an ex-con, because he had told police he did not want to go back to jail. We had no idea what he was capable of, and we wanted to keep you informed and warned while he was in our area. But now again, it looks as if it is all over. Now, once again, you're looking at live video. This from our chief photographer, Eddie Luna. He's out there, I believe, with our Vince Marino as well. They're live on the scene now. This is a different angle. A moment ago, you saw the helicopter above as they were cuffing the guy. Now you see officers just opened up the back to that big rig. They're probably checking out the cargo, making sure everything's A-OK and safe. Again, we were told there were hazardous materials on board. Now, so far, we do not know the identity of this man. We do not know why he decided to steal this big rig. He obviously had some sort of knowledge of how to drive an 18-wheeler. After watching him for the last 3 hours here in the newsroom, he obeyed traffic laws in some cases. He kept the big rig in the lanes. He knew how to shift it going up that steep incline, that upgrade over there out of Morongo into Yucca Valley. Kept it on the road, didn't hit anybody. So I guess we could say all's well that ends well in this one, which a lot of times when we watch these high-speed chases on our not only valley freeways but freeways around the Southland, they typically don't end like this. We see officers, again, usually having to use spike strips, and the car veers out of control or eventually comes to an end with the tires smoking on fire, or we see CHP officers do that pit maneuver and the car spins out or flips or rolls or spins out of control. But this one, just a moderate to slow speed chase for 3 hours in a big rig, one man, keeping this small army of police officers at bay. They gave him a wide berth because of the size of that truck as he took through them city after city after city. Apple Valley, Riverside, Moreno Valley, Beaumont, Banning, Cabazon, Whitewater, the high desert, Morongo, Yucca, and then back down, finally coming to an end here at the Whitewater rest stop. We will have our crews stay there on the scene until we can get some more information about who this man is. And of course, we will give you the latest tonight on KMIR News, first at 4:30 and 5 and 6. You can see there the freeway. If you're hopping on the 10, let's say out in North Palm Springs, it's moving a little slowly as people are rubbernecking, trying to see what's going on. But at least this man had the wherewithal to pull over to be apprehended and didn't just stop and cause a scene or an accident or something god-awful worse on our valley freeways. He pulled over in that rest area, literally parked it in a parking spot, and then jumped out and surrendered. So the chase is over. We're going to return you back to your regular scheduled programming, and we will bring you the very latest. Hopefully we'll learn more about this man, his identity, and what drove him to lead police on this 3-hour chase across Southern California today. Again, I apologize for interrupting your regular programming, but this is something that we thought was necessary to keep the public safe, just in case this guy did something wild and crazy with this big rig, because we did not know what those materials were. I'm sure tonight by 4:35 or 6 we will know a lot more about what went down today. Again, you've been watching Breaking News here on KMIR News, where the news comes first. We're going to return you now to your regularly scheduled programming.
Lower A1C. A pill taken just